Good morning, guys. So I just read a MOU signed by our president, Brian Renfroe, where he is allowing route adjustment evaluations in S&D centers to now use DOIS information. Now, whoever doesn't know DOIS is basically a report that management can print out that determines the length of our route on any given day based on projections of numbers that they have. um, the MOU says it's only for S&D centers, not single installations. However, if we know management is going to try to enforce this at every local installation they possibly can, and it's up to our stewards to fight it. Why is this a bad thing? It's showing where we are headed towards as a craft. One of my biggest things that I've been talking about is technology and how the Postal Service wants to use the MDD scanners against us. And I have carriers saying, oh, well, they can't use it against us. However, they are using it against us in the sense that they're harassing carriers and questioning, the stationary events. If they go over a couple minutes of non-movement or not scanning an item, you pop up on a report, and the supervisors and managers are using these as opportunities to cut back on cost for savings for the Postal Service. It's my understanding that they're looking to save some 9 million hours, and the way they're going to get it is by coming after us for stationary events. Whether that leads to discipline or not isn't the issue. The issue is that they are supervising us in the office via the scanners rather than being out on the street observing us. Okay, that's the big issue. Now with the DOIS report being able to evaluate our routes, again, they're going to be inside the office using data based off of whatever algorithm they use to get those numbers. All right, so now we have a scanner data, we have computer data, all telling us how long we should be out here, and not including the weather, not including road closures, not including school delays, not including animal interference, not including speaking to our customers, package volume, residual mail. CFS hasn't been working in my office lately. A lot of forwards have been coming back to me, good forwards that I personally give people change of addresses. So with all this technology happening, we got to be careful about where this craft is headed. At some point, it's just going to be management trying to make the numbers. And again, management can't, hold us to standards because they want to make the numbers today, but tomorrow, we don't know, because Renfroe is literally everything that protects us from management and scanner data and any reports, any algorithm that management creates to come up with estimates of how long it should take us to do our routes. It seems like Renfroe is giving that protection away and giving management the upper hand. Now, these are all good bargaining points to bargain a good contract. So why is he just giving them away without any benefit to the craft, without any increase in pay, without any guarantee that we will cut down a certain amount of years to reach top pay? He's just giving it away. This is our national president. He is supposed to preserve our unions. What kind of preservation is he doing? Is this guaranteeing our jobs? Is the Postal Service going to survive in 20 years? And this is a way that he is protecting that we're going to be here? I don't know. However, we have to stop Renfroe from whatever the heck he's doing. Don't forget TREP program. He signed a memo to allow the joint evaluation of routes between Postal Service and union officials. He says that as long as we're a part of it, you can do it. And with TREP, that's how the Postal Service started using the MDD scanner data to identify stationary events. So guys, Renfroe has effectively caused the issue that we are in today when it comes to supervisors observing us from the office and not actual street observations. Now, why is this a problem? It's a problem because now you have one supervisor monitoring 80 carriers in my installation, and they're able to harass carriers. Oh, why? How long is it going to take you? You should be done. You were at your apartment complex for 45 minutes. You were there yesterday for 20 minutes. What's the holdup? Like that should not be able to happen. I mean, we've had protections against that, and now we're giving it away. We're kind of like eroding our union away slowly. And for the senior letter carriers that are going to retire soon, I understand this may not be an issue for you. A lot of the issues that are table 2 issues, they have to remain table 2 issues because we're going to be the ones that are going to be here in 20 years. However, we need your support. We need your support before you guys go off into retirement and enjoy the rest of your life. We need you to take a stance and protect the craft. It is so important right now for unity, believe it or not. Lending support to a fellow letter carrier is much needed, guys. But ultimately, we have a huge problem. Our national president is eroding our union slowly, one piece at a time. Years and years of protections are going out the window. It's time to stand up. Not only that, it's 500 days out of contract, but yet yesterday on September 30th, he signs this new memo. So he's in talks with labor. He's in talks with someone at the Postal Service. So why is he not in talks about completing this contract? At the end of the day, we have to vote no. Whether it's a great contract or not, we have to vote no. We cannot lend our support to Brian Renfroe. We have to show him that this is our union and he's destroying it, and whatever contract he comes up with, we have to vote no. All right? For the protection of our union and for the protection of the strength of our people, we have to show that we the people have the power, and whatever back deals are cut, unfortunately we can't do anything about memos that are signed. But what we have to do is get Renfroe out of his seat, and if that means we have to wait to 2026, let it be. But we have to put our faith and power back into the people, and our branch presidents have to step up. It's this silence of not being apolitical and let local handle local and national handle national. Local branch presidents have to stand up, because by taking a stance of silence, you're taking a stance and you're saying it's all right. Let Renfroe do whatever Renfroe wants to do. However, the problem is what Renfroe does on a national level gets trickled down. And I understand that there are local agreements between management and local branches. However, management goes to the national contract whenever they want. Okay, I saw it in my own office that one of our managers tried to pull a article from a joint contract in 2014, titled the letter carrier paragraph, where he was enforcing a T6 to do overtime on a jump string, even though he wasn't on that string for that day. He was considering that since it was one of his strings, if there was overtime available on it, he could force him on that overtime. Even though this guy was on work assignment, he wasn't even on the overtime list. He was on own bid, and because there was available overtime on a string on his jump, they forced him to do that overtime. And the way that they justified it was through the JCAM from 2014. So I'm telling you, these guys will use whatever they have in their arsenal. And the reason they do it is because they know that the only way for us to fight it is to go to arbitration. And right now, our national business agents are not going to arbitration. There's such a backlog that the Postal Service knows that we cannot defy an order that they give us. So we got to do what they tell us to do. And at the end of the day, by the time it gets resolved or it goes to arbitration, it's months or years down the line. Anyway, guys, be smart here. You know what I mean? You got to push your local branch presidents to be a voice against Brian Renfroe. And if they're not, you got to vote them out. It's that simple. Anyway, guys, until next time I'll be here, you'll be there. Peace.